Hello and welcome. This is Sports Tonight. We're reaching you live from Channels Television Studios in Abuja. You know, whenever I come to Abuja, it means it's a special edition of the show. Welcome aboard wherever you're in the world watching us. This is still the Fun Factory. I'm Austin Okonakwa. And on the show tonight, we want to give special attention to league football development in Nigeria. How can we make league football in Nigeria a business? How can we meet international standards? What can we do for infrastructure development? The league also needs to be on television. What can the league management company do to ensure that more followership is achieved for league football in Nigeria? That's our focus tonight on the program, and that's why I'm right here in Abuja, because I'll be having that discussion with the chairman of the league management company, Shehu Diko, later on the program. But so much is going down in our world of sports on the show tonight. We'll continue our countdown to the Edo 2020 National Sports Festival. Edo State, they've told us that they want to give us a fantastic event. We'll continue the countdown on the show tonight. We'll also continue our countdown to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. What a story. I've got good news coming for table tennis in Nigeria. But Aaron Okwodri, there was a scare. Thigh injury. I didn't let him, go on at that qualifiers in Tunis. But by virtue of his ranking, Aaron Okwodri can still qualify for the Olympics. We'll talk about that one also on the show tonight. We'll also, since we're talking about league football development in Nigeria, we will take a look at March Day 22 fixtures in the Nigeria Professional Football League. That should really get us talking on the show tonight. So this is a call to every league follower, fans. If you love league football in Nigeria, be part of the program. Be part of the program tonight on Twitter by channels_sports, Facebook channels-sports. You can send us an email to sportstonight@channelstv.com. Do you have questions, comments, suggestions? Let's be part of nation building. We love the league in England. We follow the league in Spain. We follow what's happening in Germany, in France. We love it. How can we do that? How can we do the same thing in Nigeria? That's the focus tonight. And we will talk about it big time on the program. Be part of it on Twitter, channels_sports, Facebook, channels-sports, or send us an email to sportstonight@channelstv.com. Let's keep it simple. League football in Nigeria. That one should really get us talking. Also, now let's take a look at the National Sports Festival. Use the hashtag NSF, National Sports Festival. Edo State, they say they are ready to give us arguably one of the best, or the best national sports festival that has ever been put together in the country. We're waiting to see how they are going to do that one. Be part of the program. Twitter, channels_sports, Facebook, channels-sports. That's it right there. 24 more days to go to the Edo 2020 National Sports Festival. Teams are getting set. States are getting ready. Just the other day, we saw Enugu State getting ready for their state sports festival in a bid to also prepare for the National Sports Festival. Kwara, Imo, some states, they have already concluded their state sports festival. Edo, the host, they've also concluded that theirs also. The Ministry of Youth and Sports Development tomorrow, actually they started today inspecting facilities right there at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium in Benin City. And they will conclude tomorrow. Look, for the ministry, they want to make sure that everything is fine. And I keep telling us that infrastructure is really, really important if we want to put together a world-class event. So some pictures right there are from the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium. The state government, they've taken this one upon their hands. It says it's a big, big project. And I love the fact that other states can look at what Edo State are doing and actually keep that momentum going. Edo State governor says, look, we want to use this to revive sports in Edo State. The other day, the deputy governor, who is the chairman of the local organizing committee, says they want to use it to tell Nigeria that Edo is the home of sports. We're counting down to the Edo 2020 National Sports Festival. 24 more days to go. Inspection of facilities at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium. They will wrap up tomorrow. Hopefully the ministry will come out of a report. Edo State will also do the same thing to tell us how prepared they are for the National Sports Festival. For the National Sports Festival, let's talk about the big one, the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Everybody's talking about the coronavirus now, and it's been a big threat to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Persons are saying, look, just so everybody is fine, can we just cut it off or postpone it? I think it's not going to happen. The Olympics is a 4-year project. It's massive. It's the world's biggest sporting competition. It's 146 more days to go. We need to contain that virus so that we can have a beautiful time in Tokyo. Because I don't know what we're going to do. If the coronavirus keeps spreading, then the big stars, one after the other, we start pulling out. Then countries will pull out, and then we're not going to have the Olympics. 146 days to go to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. And I've got good news for Team Nigeria and table tennis. Today, at the ongoing table tennis Olympic qualifying tournament in Tunis, Nigeria's Olufunke Oshonaike, Ofyong Edem, and Omotayo Olajide booked their places at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. That's fantastic news for table tennis in Nigeria. Edem was the first Nigerian to qualify when she beat Gautimata of Ethiopia 4-0 in her first game and followed it up with a 4-3 win over home girl Gasha Fadwa. Oshonaike becomes the first African woman in any sport, not just table tennis, any sport whatsoever in Africa, to qualify for 7 Olympic Games when she defeated Cameroon's Senna Hamfo 4-1. And Sarah is a friend. But Olufunke Oshonaike said, look, I want to go to my 7th straight Olympics and nobody can stop me, not my friend Sarah. And so she went on to win and booked a place at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Olajide Omotayo defeated Algeria's Labi Brora 4-0. He was dominant to also book his place. But there was a scare. Let me tell you, Africa's highest ranked player, Aaron Okwadri, will bank on his current ranking to qualify for the Olympics. You know why? He pulled out of his game due to a thigh injury. And so we'll just see, because I mean, it doesn't sound good that the #1 table tennis player in Africa will not be at the Olympics. Doesn't sound good for the sport. So let's see if Aaron Okwadri will be given an opportunity to be at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics due to his ranking. So that's good news coming from Team Nigeria and table tennis as we count down to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, which is just 146 more days to go. I love that story so much. Table tennis doing so well. Take a bow, Olufunke Oshonaike, for reaching your 7th straight Olympics. That's a legend right there. I told you on the show tonight we're giving attention to league football developments in Nigeria. Before we get into the discussion, let's take a look at March Day 22 fixtures in the Nigeria Professional Football League. Look, we love what we've seen this season. We've seen away wins, less crowd trouble compared to other seasons. Shows you that the league is gaining momentum. Plateau United, they're on top of the table after that a goalless draw with their rival in terms of who tops the league, Lobby Stars. They will take on Jigawa Golden Stars. Can they keep the momentum going? They beat Jigawa, then they will be passing a strong message, because if it's March Day 22, then it's business stage of the competition. Kwara United will host Lobby Stars. Kano Pillars will take on Dakada FC International. Heartland in Okigwe will take on Rivers United. Rivers United also in good form, and they're eyeing that top 3 position. FC Ifeanyi Uba will host MFM Football Club of Lagos. In Nnewi, Rangers International. In Enugu, we play Adamawa United. Warrior Wolves at the Warri Township Stadium will host Sunshine Stars, while Abia Warriors will take on Aqua United. Match Day 22 of the Nigeria Professional Football League. Eimba International Football Club of Aba will take on Katsina United, while Wiki Tourists will take on Nasarawa United. Are you ready? Let's talk about league football developments in Nigeria. I have the chairman of the league management company, Shehu Diko, with me in the studio. Shehu Diko, it's good to have you on Sports Tonight.
My pleasure.
All right.
Good to have you here.
Okay, so second time I have to come to Abuja to get you guys. So if you guys can't come to Lagos now, we'll come to Abuja to meet you. Good to have you on the show. Let's talk about the league. What sort of story have we been having this season?
Well, I think this season, so far so good, because technically The league has been, I think, excellent, better than where we are coming from the last season. If you look at the results being churned out by the clubs, the demystification of win-at-home syndrome, everybody now have to play for its points, and the statistics is showing a good improvement. I think the highest wins we have, away wins, was 31. Already we're at 25, and we are just halfway. So basically, if you look at it, you can see averagely it's going to be much, much better at the end of the day. But that's not just not the statistics that should be judged on the technical aspect of the league. Look at the goals being scored. Now we are having an average of 2 goals per game. That's not what we were having before. And I remember when we had the coaching course about two seasons ago, when one of our partners brought the top coaches from Europe to sit down with the Nigerian MPFL coaches in Abuja here. Part of the thing they brought on the table was that we need to get more goals into the league. So they were talking to the coaches. You can ask them, the coaches that are still there, that what strategies they need to put, what kind of system they need to put to get more goals into the league, because that is what the fans want to see. The fans doesn't want to go and see games boring and draw and stuff like that. They need to see goals, excitement. Now we are having an average of 2 plus something goals per game. On the disciplinary part of it, we are having less yellow cards, we are having less red cards. So everything seems to be going well, technically. So which means we are really on the right side. If you look at the fans, we are getting an average of 8,000. If you look at per game, some venues are very, very full and getting a lot of fans into them, while some are still developing. But at least the interest is still going high up, because people now are believing they're going to go and see the better, good game. I've seen games that are even draw, 0-0, but the fans will call to say, look, excellent football. They love what they see. I've seen games where they will play, the away team will win, and the home fans will clap for the away team and the match officials going off the pitch, because they have seen good football and they know they deserve to win. So all those kind of psyche is being changed and everything. So I think we are, this season, so far so good, and I think we can build on that. Because the next stage is the commercialization of the league.
That's right.
Because that's the most important part of it. You can make all the technical success and everything, so long you don't monetize that and translate it to money that will come to the league and goes back to the clubs, which will go to the players, go to everybody, and create the business environment we are trying to create. Then we are still not going anywhere. So we are working very hard on that side as well, on the commercialization part of it. We have a transaction ongoing with some of our partners for the TV, because TV,
it's very important.
It's not very important. It's football. It's sports. Without TV, there's no sport. Not just to show the games on TV, to monetize the TV and get a lot of money that will come into the system. So we are all taking everything together and see what we can achieve on that.
It sounds good, particularly this season. There's been some level of improvement. And the moment you said commercialization, I had to sit up, because that's very important. That's the business side of it also. You've been talking about making football a business in this country.
Of course.
Why has it been so difficult?
Yeah, it's very difficult, because we seem to be the only ones thinking in that direction. You get the point. We can't do it alone. You know, people, everybody had to play his own part. From us at the helm of affairs to the federation, we are all working in one direction. But before that, we need to get the clubs to be on board as well. We need to get the fans to be on board as well. And most importantly, we need the government to be on board to create the enabling environment. Everywhere, every day we see government are working to create the enabling environment for this sector, for particular sector and that sector. But nobody from that side is looking at that look. There's also a need to sit down and create the enabling environment to get this, the economics of football, the business of football, and sports generally to develop. Thankfully, the new Minister of Sport is already aligning to that direction, and he is doing a lot to get that buy-in across board. And so we have to align our ideas and our resources to get that done. Because so long that is not done, then we cannot get anywhere. We can't just do it alone, because in Africa, for example, and Nigeria, for example, our economy is always like a mixed economy. It's capitalist economy and it's also socialist economy. That's why you see every day the CBN is giving intervention to all kinds of sectors, agriculture, cassava, this and that, because why? They need to jumpstart the system. Football needs that kind of support to be able to get the enabling environment. The leagues that we all think across the world that are the best in the world, the Premier League, they didn't just wake up and start the Premier League like that. Somebody thought about it, the group of clubs thought about it, government buy into it. Say, okay, what can we do to get you to the next level? And exactly they did that. They pump in the right support to create the enabling environment. Not to come and share money to clubs or to share money to the league. No, create the infrastructure, create the like the broadcast needs and everything. Create the legislation that is required to protect and promote the system. You do that, then the business side will be delivered. That's just a fact of it. But now we are swimming like against the tide. Because all the stakeholders have to be on the same line.
It's part of the problem because most of the clubs are owned by state governments.
But that's not the issue. That's not the issue. There's no harm in the state government owning a club, so long they can be able to play within the rules and regulations. So long they can be able to play within the club licensing regulations. There are clubs being owned by Saudi Arabia. Who owns the clubs? I think not having successful leagues and successful, even our captain is placed there, for example. So it's just people to understand that. In Germany, for example, they have a rule that says 50+1. Every club must be owned 50% by the fans, 51% by the fans. Then other 49% can be owned by government, can be owned by corporates, can be owned by individuals.
Shouldn't that be the way we
That's the kind of model. So there are different models we could adopt here to get this done. So if you said, for example, now show me all the successful businessmen we have in this country that did not lean on government at one point or the other to be able to job their business. Is there anybody who can look at him and say, oh, he's a very big businessman in Nigeria today, and yes, he created this money all on his own? No, there's a support and push by the government at some point, either through concessions, either through tax rebates, either through whatever policies the government have in place to jumpstart that business. So football needs that. So if the state government now, for example, how many of us can build a stadium? Proper stadium. But government can be able to build a stadium and say, okay, that's my contribution. I'll get the stadium. Look at what the Edo State are doing now. After that, they can call some partners now and say, okay, take McDonald Insurance, for example. The stadium is our own equity into it, and then we'll give you the security, and then we give you then you commercialize it, and then we work together. But you own the controlling shares, so that the day-to-day decision is made by the professionals, by the people that knows how the football should run, the people that see it as a business, not that see it as a social service, while they protect the integrity of the game, the integrity of the asset they have, and then it works. Go to America, for example, the NFL. How many stadiums do you think those clubs are owned by the NFL teams, the American football team? Most of these big stadiums were built by the municipalities and handed over to the teams as part of their contribution. Because at the end of the day, if those teams grow up, grow big and become a business, it is the environment, it is the city.
That's right.
That would
because
develop.
They've created that enabling environment. Persons can come into it and invest.
Absolutely.
And that's
absolutely,
what we need to do. It's very important that we understand this business angle of the league. Tell me, why has it been also difficult to get sponsorship for the league?
Well, it's not about difficult to get the sponsorship for the league per se. Yes, it's difficult the way the system runs, but we have our priorities set. We can easily go now and be signing any kind of sponsorship and take any kind of money. But we always look at the value. We always look at, would that money give us the value we need to put money back to the clubs and get this? For the past 2 years or 2.5 years, we have been trying to resolve the TV issue. Because it's the TV issue that drives the money in, that drives the sponsorship, that drives everything, even for clubs.
I'll just pause you.
No
the TV issue, very, very important. So I'll come back to it. It's Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're reaching you from our studio in Abuja. Let's go on this short break. When we come back, we'll continue where Shehu Diko stopped. So don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on your award-winning sports-loving Channels Television. We're taking a look at league football development in Nigeria, and I've got the chairman of the league management company, Shehu Diko, talking to us on the show tonight. Shehu Diko, you were telling me the importance of TV rights in terms of getting the right business environment.
Well, I'm not talking about the TV rights per se. TV rights is when you are trying to get the money out of the TV. I'm talking about the TV. You need to get the league on TV. But how do you get the league on TV? You need to produce the games. So the fundamentals, the foundation is the production. If you don't have the production capacity, then how are you going to get the games on TV? And if you don't get the games on TV, how are you going to commercialize the content? So we need to start somewhere. And in Nigeria, for example, as of today, to my thinking, I think we have, just about 2 OV vans that belongs to a private company that are capable of doing a proper football match for you. Only 2. It's a shame. So how do you not produce the games? That's why the cost of production is so exorbitant that it's almost impossible under the circumstances to do it. It costs you can ask the clubs in Nigeria that play the continental games. Every game they show in CAF Champions League for Eyimba or Rangers, CAF used to debit them about $30,000 to $40,000 per game. Wow. $30,000 to $40,000 per game, which is between 12 to 15 million naira to produce a game in Nigeria. So how is that going to work?
It's difficult.
It's difficult. So we have to now solve the production issue. If you don't do that, in some other countries, for example, if you take the Moroccan example, the government woke up and bought 17 OV vans and handed it over to the public broadcaster for use by the league. 17. That is what now they use to produce the league, and then they now commercialize it and monetize it and get their money back. And everybody is a win-win situation for everybody. But where we are today, we have hosted a lot of tournaments. In Nigeria, for example, the last one in 2009, I guess, under 17. NTA were supposed to have at least 8 OV vans that are football capable specs to do it. Where are they?
And this year, so, you guys announced plans to have it on TV.
Absolutely.
What happened?
No, that's what we are doing. We announced plans to have it on TV with Next TV. It's a new audacious thinking. But we told the whole world that transaction is standing on 4 pillars. The first one is to get the investment into the league, to get it running as a football being played. The second option, the second stage, is to get an investment into the production capacity and capability, which is both on equipment and capacity. We have the capacity everywhere. A lot of people who are competent to do the job, but there is no equipment. To get that investment to do that. The third one is to distribute the content that we are going to produce, because we need to produce the content across all platforms. We can't hold it to say only on OTT or only on cable or only on free-to-air, because we need to promote the league. We need to put it across all platforms, both locally and internationally. Then the fourth pillar is to now commercialize those contents, and then also to use it to drive other sponsorship. The first one is being worked on, it's been done already. Next TV have put in the first guarantee for the investment to start to get the league going, and we are happy to see that money comes in from abroad, which means they have an investor who is trying to back them up to get an FDI into Nigeria. The second stage is now how to build up production capacity. Next TV have imported a lot of equipment already. They have confirmed to us that. They are already planning, technical people are coming to work with the locals and the one that are bringing from abroad, and to start the production. The third phase is the distribution. They have already built an OTT app. It's already on the Apple Store, I guess, and on the Play Store. You can download the app. Next TV Africa, you can see everything is being built in there for Nigeria League. That way they can show the games live on OTT. We have a contract already with Nine Mobile, who are ready to offer some specialized data packages to get that people to show. But whatever we have in there, we can also give it to other networks. Even channels can have it. AIT can have it. NTA can have it. Sport can have it, so that we can promote the game as much as possible. Then the first stage is to see how we can now commercialize that. And they are already working on all these options. Hopefully, all being equal, we should have a game going live within March.
All of this will not look good on TV, Mr. Shehu Dikko, if we don't fix infrastructure. Some of the centers where we play our matches still don't look like they meet international standards.
Well, it is the issue of like chicken and egg. Which one comes first? Do you fix the centers without the TV, or do you get the TV to fix the centers? If I get the TV, everybody will see the TV is there. Nobody will allow his center to be seen looking very bad. And
but then TV will show you that it's not looking good.
No, hold on. And we two are not going to agree to that. Because already, in the last meeting we had with the clubs, at our AGM, we agree with the clubs. Everybody agreed. Once the TV coming, we can only go into play our matches on TV-friendly venues for now. Because we cannot, because the investors who are putting in the money are trying to sell this content across the world. So they will not be able to show some venues that are really looking horrible. So now we allow those venues to be played because there's no TV. The moment the TV comes, it is a general agreement we have with the clubs. Everybody agreed that so long your venue is not TV friendly, it's not going to give us the best quality when you can't play there. And we'll give you 48 hours to choose a venue that is TV friendly. If you didn't do it, we'll choose a venue for you until you fix the venue. Because the moment the TV is there, everybody will fix his venue. Fixing the venue doesn't take its infrastructure.
But why does the LMC approve some of the stadiums that we see?
Well, which stadium do you think that is bad in the league to start with now? Can you tell me one?
Quite a number.
Remove Umahia, for example. We know we have issues with that.
But
Which one again? Yeah, because we had an understanding that once we come in, they'll move to Abia, to Imba Stadium, and then the governor will fix that stadium for them as well. So we are working on that to see how that is sorted. That's the only venue that gives us a read. But you go to Adamawa play in Gombe. Because Gombe is a good venue. We don't allow them to play in the Adamawa. Chikawa, they don't have a venue that is good for us. They play in Kano because Kano is a good venue. Then which venue again that is bad?
What's wrong with us telling the new Just Stadium, telling them to really?
We have been having conversation with the governor directly on that, because that stadium, if you see the final finishing plan, it's a magnificent stadium, but at least it's better than the old stadium they have. At least the pitch is fantastic. At least the ground is good. In fact, they have played even some CAF matches there, I remember. So it's not really as bad as people think. Yeah, because of the roof stadium and stuff like that. Because we want to use it as a model. Most of our stadiums has to be roofed like that. Has to have a covered stand across board, because our weather now is different. With the rains, with the sun and everything.
So we need to get saying that all the stadiums are of international standard?
There are some pretty good stadiums that we have. Bocce Stadium, didn't host World Cup Stadium there? Well, Wiki played there. Kano, did not play World Cup games there? When we hosted the World Cup, it's a good stadium. You go to Akwa Ibom, of course, is our best stadium now in Nigeria, for example. Rangers Stadium, they did not host the World Cup there, but yes, we need to work on the pitch is getting old. It need to be revamped and stuff like that. But once we get the TV going, then we can be hard on that. Absolutely, you can bet on that. Once we get the TV going, we will not allow any game to go into a stadium where we will not be happy. We will not see the visuals that we can sell to the global world. Yeah. That Nigeria is brilliant.
Let's talk about some of the sanctions that the LMC have given out this season, and to an extent, the league management company, you guys have been prompt. What sort of report did you get in that Eimba versus Abia Warriors trouble?
Well, you see, because at times the social media now is always instant. So there is a tendency to have a misrepresentation and to have not the right report of what really happened. The game was going on very well. It's a derby game, so they know. They already lost the first game in Aba. The second game is the next week, so already they want to avenge the loss. And they got the penalty within the first 20 minutes of the game or thereabout. Abia got a penalty. They lost the penalty. Then some Yimba fans on the stand were celebrating. And then some other fans on the other stand started argument, and maybe something was, an object was thrown in, and then they were just trying to come together, because we tried to separate the fans. The game was still going on, but the stand was still being unruly. So my colleague Felix Anyasi and Emeka Nyama, who are both chairmen of Yimba and Abia respectively, tried to show leadership by leaving their comfortable seat at the VIP to run down to the stand and try to go to the stand and tell the fans and tell their fans of their clubs, look, you can't cause trouble for us here. We are brothers. We are from the same state. It is within that melee, when they went to the stand, that a stray object was thrown at Anyasi and get him hurt. Under normal circumstances, he has no business being there, because he's not the security man. He's not the head of security. He's not the trying to spread the fans and stuff like that. But they tried to show leadership by doing that, trying to show that they nip it in the bud. So the moment Anyasi was hit, the match commissioner immediately stopped the game, because he's a respectable person. He's the chairman of the club, who went to try to get his fans to calm down, so that he can be attended to. By the time he was attended to and taken out and taken to the medical attention, the game now, the time has passed, and we have no light in the stadium. So even if they continue the game, after the match has come back, okay, there's no way the game could have finished before nightfall, which means the game has to be continued tomorrow. So the conversation happened with our control room. We have a control. We talk every time during a game. We talk to us, the match commissioner, talk to the teams, talk to everybody. And it was agreed that the game should be stopped and let them continue where they stop tomorrow. Naturally, they could have come and continue in the same stadium, but we said no fans because we don't want them to come and do what they did again.
Yeah.
Then the two teams said, look, if there's no fans, the fans can still come outside the stadium and fight. Let's go somewhere and play.
Okay.
That's why we now move it to Okuge, and the game was played. And a fantastic result.
Yeah.
Yimba really showed the anger for Abia Warriors too.
Now, tell me, each time we have fans trouble, does it remind you that we're not doing enough for security at the match venues?
Well, you know, security is the business of everybody. It's called public order. I don't control security. The clubs don't control security. The FA don't control security. They only ask for the police that we have a game, please come and protect this game, and we need this number of security, and they have to do certain things. We have tried to work with the security to see that we don't get these breaches. Some of the breaches we have is that some of the security that come to the stadium, they're also fans. And some of the security, they think their work ends the moment the last whistle is blown. But they don't have to wait till everybody get out of the stadium and get it well and get it okay. So we always look at that. We are the ones on top of it. So people that are outside always just come with the preferred, already a set out mind. Oh, this, that would happen and stuff like that. But we see the reports. We talk to the teams. We talk to the fans. We have people in that stadium. There's no city that are playing a game where I don't have somebody who goes to the game and tell me what's going on.
But it happens so quick, and it's scary because...
Not so quick. Look at it now. This season, now, so far, 207 games we played. Only one major incident, the Yimba incident. That happened in the stadium. No, that happened in the stadium. We have to Yimba happened in the stadium. Katsina game, yes, there were issues during the game, but the game finished very well. The clubs even have to go and wave their fans before they go to the dressing room. Some misguided fans went outside the city. We don't know whether they're from the stadium, whether they are towels, and tried to fight. Nothing to do with the football. So people have to contract it that way, you get the point, but we still have to deal with it. That's the issue of public order. That's the issue because we know the kind of amount of effort that was put by the two teams to visiting themselves to ensure that the derby doesn't go that way. We have that issue. Ahali, for example, Zamalek. So we have to now know that we have to do so much during those games to ensure that those things does not happen again. Because we understand the rivalry. That Katsina game, for example, there were dedicated gates for Kano Pillars fans. There were dedicated parking lots for Kano Pillars fans, surrounded by security. Reason why they couldn't really do much on the pitch of play. Those that tried to do some scuffle on the stand, they were quickly keeping control. So they went outside the stadium. Maybe it's some personal beef and stuff like that. But we can't allow that to happen. We can't allow any incident to happen that will bring that kind of bad image to the game. Yeah. So we have to keep doing it. That's why we have to keep engaging the security. We just have a meeting with the NFL president and everybody and stuff like that to see how we can do. The minister is really pushing us from the side to say, look, you have to do this, you have to do that, because he also interested about it. And so we'll take it much, much more serious now to see what we could do. That is why even in the NFF bill that was passed by the National Assembly, there was a clear section for security that put the responsibility of security on the right authority for every football match in this country. If now you are playing a game in Europe, for example, if the police in London say you can't play the game, you can't play the game. If they see that the fans are going to fight and everything, they have that control because it's the legislation. They have a proper legislation for match day security, which is a law in UK, for example. So we have to get to that level. You don't just leave for the clubs or the state FA to go and, I need police to come and do. No, it has to be a responsibility of somebody who, for each city, for example, there's a police officer who is in charge of football security or sports security. So on each major event, he controls that and he's responsible for that. And then we work together as a group to make sure that is done. But let me get to one thing. The major issue that we are even having, I see people shouting, point deduction, point deduction, point deduction, point deduction. Even your program.
No, because everybody just says the problem still persists.
There's no league in the world where points are being deducted and being shared anyhow like that. You get the point. Point deduction comes in as an extreme major. Extreme major.
We don't have those extremes?
Extreme major to do that. You can't just wake up and be deducting points for every incident like that. It has to be a consistent incident, breach of discussion. We have done that, remember. In 2018 season, before the season was halted, we have already deducted points from Heartland and deducted points from Sunshine.
Sunshine, yeah.
Because of repeated breach of the rules over 3 seasons or so.
And we saw
every season we
changes.
do that. We saw changes on that.
That's
Till
right,
today,
yeah.
till today, Heartland are behaving themselves. To this are behaving themselves. But you see, we have experience running this league. There was a time where they said for every incident they have in any stadium, 3.3 goes to the away team. In those days, it is the away team that will hire the talks to go to the stadium and ensure that they cause havoc. Ask any club, they tell you. So that they will come and apply for 3.3 goals. That is why that issue of 3.3 goals was cancelled. And they said any game that is halted at any point must be completed at another venue. We have had cause to move a game from Akure, Lobby, Sunshine to Abuja to play just 6 minutes remaining. 6 minutes. Because we don't want to be given all those kind of issues. So if now you start playing with the 3.3, the deduction of points at every incident, assuming you have the last day of the game, your team is going to relegation if you win. If you don't win, or if I win, whatever you do, you are going to relegation. What will happen? Or maybe if I win, whatever you do, I win the league. The only thing you need to do is to hire talks to make sure they go to my stadium and cause havoc.
No, me.
And it's not the point. No, I'm talking.
I
That's the
know,
problem.
just,
So you get the point.
Okay,
If you don't manage this issue of point deduction, we start making it as if we are dashing this thing. It might end up being more counterproductive. As we have seen those days, because we have seen those days where even the away team will buy the home kit jersey for the home team and go and put them in this thing to cause trouble, so that they will come and apply for 3.3 goals. The moment we abolish that 3.3 goals, the incidence is reduced. So we don't want to start deducting points and sharing points that will come and escalate this decision to make it more dangerous for the game. The issue is that let's work on the security. Let's all stakeholders come together and do what is right and put it well. Yes, if any team repeatedly keep doing the same thing, then they have to get to that level.
We need to drop the
because
sanctions.
it's in the rule book. For repeated offenses, breach of the rule book, we can take out your points.
That's right.
But it has to be under exceptional circumstances.
I agree with you.
And before we close this one, people think banish team, banish this, banish that, banish that. Who do you punish if you banish a team? A fan came to the stadium and caused trouble. They have no business with the club and the players. And you banish the team to maybe from Abuja to Maiduguri, for example. Who do you punish? The players. Who is the players who are domiciled in Abuja?
Those genuine fans that come and don't even
forget about the fans. It is the players who are domiciled in Abuja who will every day have to travel to Maiduguri to play their home game and then come back and go to Lagos and play their away game. So you're actually punishing the wrong people because the fans are still staying in their homes.
Yeah.
So we also always look at all those issues. That's why you see we have this closed door, because we punish the fans that cause the trouble. Except if we do the investigation and we found that the crisis was actually instigated by the club officials.
Okay.
And every time we can take that.
We just want the league management company.
I want to clarify this so people understand the thinking behind what we do at some point, because it's very clear. I receive a lot of text messages, why can't you banish them? As they have an incident in the stadium here today, the next thing I will receive calls from other people. I have stadium in my town, bring them to. But you punish the players. Right. You punish the team. While the fans are still living in their homes and they don't even follow the team to go and watch the game. It's the players that will suffer.
Because they miss their ground.
They miss their ground. Not even miss their ground, even the travel.
Yeah. A lot.
And to do that. So, we need to understand the business of what we do on
the LMC has come under some criticisms this year. It's been good. I like
part of life.
Yeah. One of them is the suspended ban for Rabiu Ali. Do you think that you guys did the right thing in suspending?
Of course. We have precedents of doing that. People think, we used to say most of our sanctions are corrective, not punitive. You correct somebody's behavior. What is the incident that Rabiu Ali was punished for example? He didn't beat the referee, he didn't do everything, but his reaction, his reaction could have instigated the fans. That is the reason why even at the last meeting we held with the NFF and Co, we are now bringing a new rule that says for every player that instigated, that behaved badly towards the referee, or the match officials, we'll find his coach. Apart from finding the player, we'll find the coach. Because the coach are supposed to instill discipline on their players, not to do that. Because at times it is those reaction by the players that would get the fans to react.
I'll just pause you. We need to go on this quick break. We're still taking a look at league football development in Nigeria. Shehu Diko also doubles as the NFF's second vice president. We'll ask him some questions regards football management in Nigeria, so don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're taking a look at league football development. I love the word development, so let's stay with it. Development in Nigeria. Shehu Diko is the chairman of the league management company, and we've been analyzing the issues. We want league football in Nigeria to be admirable, to meet international standards, and that's what has been leading this discussion. I also mentioned before the break that he is the second vice president of the Nigeria Football Federation. One more question as regards the league, and then we go into football management in Nigeria. I'm sure you get reports about players' welfare. Some players are still being owed by their clubs, and that's not good for our football. What is the league management company doing?
Well, I'm not so sure about that, because we have safety nets, we have rules and regulations to protect the players. So if any player is being owed, probably he's the one that chooses to be owed, because the rules actually protected him. For example, the rule is very clear: no player should be owed more than 30 days. And if you are owed more than 30 days, there are steps that you need to take to be able to make sure you get justice. First and foremost, you need to, it's under the FIFA regulations, you need to give the club a notice of default. Except if your contract says you'll be paid every 2 months or every 3 months, depending on the contract you sign with the club. But if they owe you any money for 30 days, you give them a default notice. And they have 10 days to respond. And if they did not respond, after that 10 days, then you can file a formal complaint. And then the LFC will investigate, and if they find it's correct, then there are sanctions that will come to the club, like registration bans for new players until they settle you, fines to fine the club for meeting their obligation, and also maybe even if we have money to give the club, we can take the money and give the players. We have all activated these three systems within the framework of what we are doing over time, over the seasons we have running the league. So those things are very settled. And then before a club is registered for any season, they have to bring what we call attestation forms, signed by all their players for last season that they have been paid. And I can tell you, I have all those forms now in the office. All the players say they have been paid. So if any player now choose to sign those forms and say, okay, I have an agreement with the club, they'll pay me later. But as far as the rules is concerned, to me, they have been paid. But we have realized the players can be manipulated for the desperation to play. So with the clubs now, the last time we met, we agreed to improve on that. That apart from bringing the attestation after the end of the season, we would need to see the physical vouchers and maybe the bank transfers that the player has been paid.
That's right.
Or if they are owing the player, they have to come with a written agreement that they have agreed to pay the player within a maximum of 60 days, whatever they are owing him. If the player agree on that, then we can work on that. But I can tell you, I can assure you, most of the issues of players being owed now is a bit exaggerated, because many of the clubs pay as revenue as far as salary is concerned. Maybe there are some bonuses here and there and stuff like that. Because
maybe what they tell you.
Because most of them get their money direct from the state government. Now, I can tell you, I know. There are only maybe one or two clubs that we're having issues with. But most of the clubs now have been able to input their salaries, the one being owed by government, into the government system. The moment the government staff are paid, they go paid. Okay. So most of the clubs, if you look at how many clubs you see that complaint are coming, it's only those. I know the era of a club chairman will take players' money and go and do something is over. That doesn't happen again. The club chairmen are being very responsible. If you hear anywhere a player is being owed, so probably the money has not come from the government. Okay, well, but we have banned clubs from registering new players.
We will monitor that situation, because that's.
But we want the players to come up
and say these things.
The truth.
That's right.
That is why we ask them to all work with the agents. They have intermediaries. It's not their job to manage themselves. Player, focus on football. Get somebody who you trust, your brother, your sister, your father, to manage you, your cousin, or whatever it is, to manage you and follow whether your rights are, if your rights are there to do that. So
let's talk about football management in Nigeria, the NFF. Now tell me, the NFF, have you guys been transparent in your dealings? Because there are reports at about last week that you were on the run. Where were you running to?
Run to where? I don't know about that.
Where have you been?
I've been in Zurich. I went to FIFA for a FIFA meeting. I just came back this morning.
What went down the meeting?
Well, the FIFA Stakeholders Committee meeting. It's online. The meeting held yesterday in Zurich. I was a member of the committee, key member of the committee. So I was in Zurich for the meeting. We took a hell of a decision. I think the communication should be out today or there tomorrow from FIFA about player compensation for clubs, to transfer compensation, training compensation, solidarity payments, the club World Cup FIFA is trying to do, the IFAB changes we are trying to do for the rules of the games and stuff like that. So that has been done. NFF has been very, very transparent. What do you do? How many agencies in Nigeria publish their audited accounts? NFF do that. How many federations or agencies in Nigeria that hire a company like PwC, for example, which is the globally recognized to run their accounts, which everybody knows that will give you the right account to do that. So I don't know. There's nothing NFF that is doing that is not transparent, that is not open on the paper. In fact, this NFF has been over-transparent. It's part of the problems. Because everything done, Amaju will ensure is in the public. Or worst case scenario, to ensure that a memo is sent to the government through the minister. This is what we are doing. This is the issue. We have been doing that for a long time. So even the last regime, you can have them. We have proof that any money that comes to the NFF, I know about that. Even from government, from sponsors or anything, Amaju ensure that a letter is sent to the minister and tell him this money has come. I know we used to do that. This money has come in, and this is what the money is going to be used to. So what the issue about that?
Have you been answering calls from for anti-corruption?
Yeah, of course, it's normal. When people wake up to write petition against you, the anti-corruption agencies are duty bound to ask you questions. But this is 2.5 years. We have been, anybody who asks questions, nobody will say we have never went to answer the question. We have sent tons of documents everywhere. We used to send the documents. We copied everybody. At times when they even give us this kind of questions, we make sure we copy the AGF office, we copy the presidency, copy everybody. Everything is on the table. But when one person will wake up and write petition to all the agencies in Nigeria, and if you look at the petitioners, for example, are normally people that lost out politically from the NFF. They are just going to mislead the agencies. But what we keep telling everybody who is involved in this issue is that, have you ever had any insinuation that about government money missing in NFF? Everything is about sponsors' money, FIFA money that we bought from the sponsor. I went to negotiate the sponsor who bought the money, and then somebody will say the money is missing. No.
What if the former minister accused the NFF of misusing funds for the World Cup?
No.
About ₦1 billion.
How can he say that? The NFF gave him, I'm not in charge of the funding of the NFF and not like that, but they gave him the breakdown, they gave him everything. All those funds are political talks. He knows how much it was approved. He knows how much that was done. All those things are premeditated to give NFF a bad name to hang it. That's what we have been battling. Okay. What we have been telling people is that if now you have I went and signed a contract with a sponsor. It's a contract, a tripartite contract between NFF and the sponsor that has terms and conditions, that have rights and obligations for each party, that have terms if somebody breaches the party, this is what we should do. Yeah. Then a third party who doesn't even have sense in the contract cannot go and petition over that contract. Only the parties to that contract can petition it.
Okay, so sadly, we have to go now. I wish we could continue this conversation, but we should keep it going.
We should keep going.
Thank you so much, Shehu.
I don't want to go. We're just starting.
Thank you so much, Shehu Diko, for coming on the program. I'll come back or bring you to Lagos. And to you, wherever you're in the world watching Sports Tonight on Channels Television, thank you so much for your time. Let's keep the conversation going as regards league football developments in Nigeria on Twitter. Channels_sports, Facebook channels Sports. That's the show for the team. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.